And hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents here in Columbus, Ohio. We are still at the Werner House, thanks to our next guest and her writer's brunch that brought me all the way from Brandon, Mississippi to Columbus, Ohio for an amazing weekend with some talented authors and the one and only New York Times bestselling author Victoria Christopher Murray. Only one person could pull this off and make this happen the way that she has, and that is best-selling author Colette R. Harrell. She's joining me here live for the very first time. Of course, it would make sense since it's her city that I'm in, that we would be able to sit down for the first time in person to be able to talk. I am so excited about this, and it's been so great spending time with her. We're going to talk to her about this weekend, about this writer's brunch, this whole weekend, what she's doing to help pour into authors. But also, she has a new book that she's preparing for. We'll get a little bit of information about that. For those joining us on Amazon, welcome. If you guys are new to us on Amazon, make sure you guys hit that follow button. You'll see it either here in this corner or down below. You will also see some of the books from Colette, that being Later. You guys see it there in the carousel. She has a copy of it here. The Gift of Freedom, which is an anthology we've talked about on this program before. The Devil Made Me Do It. You can see it there in our carousel. Also, you will see When She Loves as well. We're going to talk to her about this great body of work, but also what to expect coming up. Colette, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for coming and having me here. And also, thank you for coming to Columbus, Ohio, your first trip here.
My very first trip, and that's why I say only one person could make this happen, because I didn't know any other reason why I would be coming to
Oh, no, we're a beautiful city.
No, really,
Yeah.
I told her it reminds me a lot of Mississippi. So, which is great, which means I would definitely be coming back. Colette, a lot for us to talk about. And I want to, first of all, give you your flowers on this weekend.
Thank you.
Because
Thank you.
what you have put together, all jokes aside, is extraordinary.
Mm-hmm.
This writer's brunch, this weekend with these authors, this opportunity to be able to connect with people, who will now have these real relationships. And now, I don't know if you've been hearing about this, some of them are already setting up meetings to meet, some of them tomorrow, going into the week. What was it like for you to see it all come together?
It's amazing. The feedback has been amazing. When you're planning something, you envision that it will be perfect. And of course, there were little things behind the scenes that weren't perfect. But what I felt was the best was the feedback and what the people took from you, from Victoria Christopher Murray, from Shelby Lee, from Stephanie Bridges, and from Sandy Hemphill. The information that you gave, people left full. Nobody's cup was halfway. And people left excited again. People left ready to go do something that they've never done before. Everybody talked about leveling up. And that was what I wanted. I wanted people to have the tools to go to their next level. And so now we're building platforms where we can go higher.
Yeah. And that's what I love. And this is just who Colette is. And I've seen this over the years. That's why, even though like the two of us have never met in person before this weekend, Victoria Christopher Murray and I have known each other now for almost 20 years. We had never met in person before this weekend. We've been posting a lot of photos, videos of some of the speakers. Make sure you guys check that out on social for sure. So Colette, let's talk about the vision. We're going to get into your upcoming work. Mm-hmm. But what was the vision you had for the Writers' Brunch this weekend?
That I would allow people to come together. It was a very small group for the VIP portion of the retreat. So we all came together, as you know, here on Friday, and we're here till tomorrow on Monday. Mm-hmm. And we are getting one-on-ones with you and Victoria. We are getting tools, as I said before, that we've never had in our toolbox. We are learning things we've never learned before. And so we are very grateful. And on top of that, I said, well, this is a very small group of authors. And we're going to learn not only how to write the craft, but then how to sell the book, because we all know writing is just a small portion of getting the books out to the public. Yeah. So to turn around and say, how do we offer this to more people? So I thought about, let's do a writer's brunch. And then my daughter, and at the time, one of my project leads, they came up with a one-day pass. So then we sold out. We did a one-day pass for the writer's brunch, and we had everyone come in. We had a fabulous brunch. As you know, Chef Robbie did an amazing job on the food. If you like shrimp and grits, it was amazing.
Don't mention the shrimp and grits.
Oh my goodness. The fried chicken and the waffles. I mean, we went all out, the sparkling mimosas. But on top of good food, we were fed in our bellies, but we were fed in our minds. We got sustenance all the way around. We were fed emotionally, mentally. We were academically, intellectually, and physically. And so I think that was so important. And so my goal was to share you guys with as many people as I could, because I was blessed to have you. I wanted to share that gift with others. Yeah. And they are all amazed. All my emails, all my texts are talking about their walking on water.
Well, I have to say, I feel like I got as much out of this weekend as they have. I have been so inspired by, well, the thing that inspired me, quite honestly, Colette, to be honest with you, is how people came together. People who didn't know each other walking into that room. They walked out as a collective. Yes. You could feel it from the beginning, even after the chicken and waffles and the shrimp and grits. They had all of this energy, and excitement. And so I want to say thank you to all of you for making it an amazing opportunity. But Colette, I want to go back to you, how this journey as a writer began for you. Because you have been very intentional, and I've seen it, everyone, even this weekend, the way she prods other authors, she encourages them, tries to push them, toward their own purpose and goals. When did that start for you? When did you realize your goal of being an author?
I have always liked to tell a great story. And I have always written short stories, and I think maybe in my 20s or 30s, I started my hand at it, and I got rejected. And not having enough confidence to go on, I just stopped. And then Walkworthy Press had a contest. The first 100 pages gets to go to a book boot camp, and learn from the best. And Denise Stinson, back then at the time, some might remember her name, and Walkworthy Press was through Sony. I was one of the 12 that won. And out of, I think she had thousands of entries. And so from there, the bug grew. And I said, you know what? I can do this. And I started to write.
Yeah. Love that. Dr. Velma, hello to you, joining us on the West Coast. She says hello to you as well. Chicken and waffles, chicken. What a beautiful, yeah. I mean, really, yeah, it was amazing, Dr. Velma. So glad. Dr. Velma and I've never met each other in person either.
Oh, no, I did not know that.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to meeting next month, actually, when I'm back in Los Angeles. So now here you are, a best-selling author, someone who's out there writing books, telling stories, collaborating with others. I asked this question earlier to someone, do you still have those, when you look at books like Later, do you still have those wow moments of how far you've come since that contest?
I do. And I've been thanking God all weekend for bringing this into fruition, to be able to see the manifestation of a vision, to see all of you here in the house. We had a moment out on the patio where we were all sitting out, and it's fabulous, beautiful here. And I had a wow moment. I looked around and everyone's talking and laughing, and I was like, wow, God, you did it. And so I've come so far, and I know I'm not done, but I'm encouraged in the journey.
Yeah. I'm encouraged too. I have to say, which I'm an optimistic person anyway. I'm a person that's easily excitable, as you know. But this weekend has really even made me more excited about what's possible and what's to come. And one of the highlights being, I have to let our audience know your relationship with Victoria Christopher Murray, because it is very obvious, Colette, the way she talks about you, the way she looks at you, the love and respect she has for you. What has that been like for you to have relationships like that in this industry?
It's it's one of the reasons I felt comfortable going into the industry, because authors are some of the most warmest, wonderful people that embrace you. And even this year alone, a lot of the people you've had on these interviews, I've met, some of them only this year, and there's such a passion and love between us, and we all want to see each other win. My tagline I had a Juneteenth badge, Black Author Spotlight on Heritage. My tagline to all of my emails to them, we win together.
Yeah.
And one of the things Victoria did early in her career, she came here and she was selling her books, and I was standing next to her as she was signing. And I had just had my first book out. So I wasn't too early in her career, but 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And she said, "Did you bring your books?" And I said, "No." And she said, "You should have brought your books, because I would have sold them next to mine." Mm-hmm. Now, who does that at their event? Mm-hmm. So that's when I knew her heart. And that's when I felt that we would always be long-term friends, and that I wanted to be someone who gave to others like that.
Yeah, love that. And with that being said, I want to get into your books. I want to first say, for those who are just tuning in, welcome. You're watching Cyrus Webb Presents. We are on Amazon Live, but we are simulcasting on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. If you guys have any questions or comments for Colette, make sure you guys put them in the chat. Let's talk about Later. If you don't mind, will you pass me your copy there? Mm-hmm. I'll hold it up for our audience there to be able to see. So Later is the latest book that is out, but you do have one that is coming out soon. Mm-hmm. And what is so interesting for those who don't know about Later is one of those books that's definitely, there's more than meets the eye. There's a lot that you did with this book. And this was a big departure for you,
it was.
Colette. Talk to us about what gave you the courage to write a book like Later.
I honestly don't know. I think I had an injury, and so I was laid up, and maybe it was the medication made me start hallucinating. But I started doing what ifs. That's the truth. Goodness. I started doing what ifs, and so Later is a book that is extremely difficult to pigeonhole.
Yeah. Yes.
Because it's historical, it's contemporary, it's science fiction because of the time travel. It's romance, it's interracial. I mean, there's so many different ways to tag it and to sell it that it becomes difficult to give to any particular person on any particular genre. So it's a story that told itself. Okay. And I enjoyed it. Everyone who reads it, I get feedback. So, I would encourage people to get your copy and read it.
Yes. It is a great book. And I'm excited. You don't mind my sharing about you being a part of our books? Okay. So Colette is part of our coalition that we're building with my Los Angeles project to take books like hers, and Dr. Bama is part of this as well. My new endeavor that kicks off September the 1st, Books into Film, where we're creating a portal for writers, producers, and directors to connect with books. Because a lot of times, Colette, I don't know if I even told you the story, that producers will ask me, what are some of the stories that you've been reading that you like? And what's interesting about them? And so I would tell them these stories, and finally I thought I should just create a place to make it easier for them to be able to go to. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It doesn't cost the writers, producers anything to go on there. They can go and read a Q&A with the author to talk about their inspiration, about the audience that they wanted to have the book for. So it kind of answers the questions that a lot of producers and directors would ask for. What's the audience for this book? What's the age range? And I'm so glad to have Later being a part of that. But you're taking another big step. So Later was a big step. And I didn't think about this, Colette, to this morning. It seems like the further in your career you get, the more risk you're willing to take. And you have your historical fiction going to be coming out soon. That's right. But which is another biggie for you that's new. But talk to us about the upcoming book.
The upcoming book is Chasing Different. And Chasing Different is the first book in a series. Mm-hmm. So it will be Chasing Different, it will be Finding Different, and Loving Different. And Chasing Different, many of my fans or my readers love Later so much they wanted to see a part 2. And what I did was Chasing Different has the characters from Later in it, but they're not the main characters. So you do get to see what happened to them from Later. you do get to visit with them for several chapters. And so that's that for people who read later, they told me, my beta readers, that they love that part of it because they knew later, and for the characters to show up, they loved it. But Chasing Different is about a neurodivergent, my male protagonist, that is in love with a librarian, and what happens when a nefarious group is after the librarian. So they're on the chase, but they're chasing different.
Mm-hmm.
And so they don't quite know how to do what expect what their next step is, because he's not thinking the way they think.
Yeah.
He thinks, and he's a geneticist, he's a genius, and he also is a multimillionaire. And so they don't know how to track him because he doesn't think the same.
Yeah.
And so that's Chasing Different. It'll be coming out soon. Mm-hmm. We are working on a few things that I want to add to it, but I'm excited about it. It is an inspirational thriller, and it also is a romance.
Yeah. How this is one thing I've been interested in the conversations here, and I haven't talked about it too much in my interviews, but I know you probably talk about this more, mm-hmm. Colette, with authors. We talked about recently with the ones here for the VIP group about the confinements of genres, mm-hmm. You know, and I say confinements because, like, Iris Bowling, who is a celebrated author, I love her books. I considered them political thrillers. Mm-hmm. When I was interviewing her this year, she told me they were romance, and I was like, romance? I'm like, I didn't get that at all, mm-hmm. you know. But then she told me, well, you know, her female, you know, readers look at those as being, so that's kind of how she categorized. I was like, oh, that's interesting. That depending on how your perspective of, I don't think about romance, so maybe that's why I didn't see it as mm-hmm. romance, you know, mm-hmm. novels. I was looking at the suspense between, you know, these families. So I bring that up to say this: you have not been shy about branching out. Mm-hmm. Where does that courage come from, and do you ever wonder if you will lose more than you gain?
I do wonder, but I have to write the stories that come to me.
Yeah.
Some people write, and I think they're successful at it. They write to market. Mm-hmm. If this is big, that's what they write. I write the story I'm giving.
Gotcha.
And so because of that, you know, later starts in slavery time. And so all of a sudden we go from the plantation to 2023, 2024. So, you know, how does that happen? I'm writing what my characters are demanding. Yeah. And I get so in tune with my characters, even when I want to take them somewhere, it's almost like they make me go back with the eraser and say, no, take me back down this way. Yeah. You know, trust us, this is where we're headed. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I do. And so I don't know if that'll make me as commercial as I would like to be in mm-hmm. terms of funding. Yeah. But I'm telling the stories that I feel good about at the end of the day.
I love that. And that's really what it's all about, right? Mm-hmm. To be, well, I maybe I shouldn't say that, because for everyone it's not.
Yeah. You know, well, we got to have that money.
Yeah, look, some people just want the check.
We got to have some
you
money.
Just tell
too.
me what you want me to do.
Can we do both? Can we be true to self and get paid?
There you go. I believe so. Hope springs eternal for me.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So let's talk about readers, though, because there are readers who I discovered you with later. Mm-hmm. That's where I came in on your journey.
Sure did.
So other people though knew you from the other books that we have here on Amazon. Mm-hmm. What has that been like for you to have your characters be your readers be with you on this journey?
It's been amazing. They love it. They trust me, which then means that I carry the responsibility of making sure that trust is not misplaced, mm-hmm. and that I give them the best I can give them. Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, I haven't learned how to do 4 or 5 books a year, you know, because I'm honing it. Sure. Where some people it is, you know, and I'm not against any. I want to do 6 or 7 books a year, but I haven't been to that place yet because I'm trying to make sure that in my continuation of doing the best I can, that I'm hitting all those marks.
Yeah, love that. So the last thing I want to talk to you about, Colette, is the what's next. We talked about the upcoming series that's coming.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you're excited about that. What else are you excited about that our audience should know about?
I'm very excited about next year's 2025 Juneteenth Bash, Black Author Spotlight on Heritage. This was the first one in 2024. And because it was so successful, 45 authors, 800 attendees.
Yeah.
And so I would like to expand that, have more people come, put more authors within people's new community, to have people be able to meet new authors and put those people on their read list or to be read list.
Mm-hmm.
So that I'm happy about that. I'm encouraged about that. Also doing this next year, to make this so these can be annual. And I'm encouraged about the people that I'm meeting that are helping me redevelop and restructure my platform.
Okay.
So that I'm not making the mistakes I've made in the past, and that I'm doing a lot better in terms of being strategic and where I'm headed in the future.
Well, look, you're doing an amazing job. Let's see, Dr. Bellman says, beautiful points. And I think that's just who you are, Colette. I was telling someone earlier, you have been the same person since I met you.
Thank you.
And that means a lot. That means a lot. And we're so happy for you, so proud of you. Glad to call you my friend.
Yeah.
Glad to be a part of this amazing weekend with this Writers Brunch. Again, everyone, best-selling author Colette R. Harrell has been our guest on Amazon. Make sure you guys do pick up her books. Again, Later is the one I have here. I have it first in the carousel for you guys on the Amazon side, but there are other books there too. If you guys are joining us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, you will find the link that will bring you guys over to Amazon to be able to get the books for yourself. Colette, let our audience know how to stay connected with you.
You can definitely stay connected on my website, ColetteHarrell.com. Very easy. It is under construction now because some of the things I'm learning, I'm having inputted into my website, but it will be up and going very soon. So stay in contact with me on Facebook, Instagram. Again, Colette R. Harrell. And I am always looking forward to hearing from new authors, hearing from aspiring authors, and hearing from readers. So reach out. I'm here.
Dr. Velma says she's excited about your 2025 vision. There's a lot of great things coming up, Dr. Velma, so definitely stay tuned. Colette, thank you again for the time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Glad to do it. And we thank you, our audience, for tuning in. It's another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents here in Columbus, Ohio. Until next time, I'm Cyrus Webb saying thank you so much for being with us. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Bye-bye.